Today we're going to talk about rational numbers. Rational numbers. Rational numbers are integers and integers divided a number. Example, integers is negative numbers, 0, positive number, -1, -2, etc. And positives 1, 2, 10, etc. Integers divided the number is 1/2, which is fractions, or decimals, 1.5. All of these are rational numbers. Now in the comparing, this is an example, and it said that list from the greatest to the biggest to the smallest. Now you're going to compare. Which here is the biggest? Obviously, the positive is bigger than the negative, so these are excluded. The first one, 2.5 or 5.25. Obviously, the bigger one is 5, because a whole number, which is the 2 and the 5, we compare them first before the fractions. So 5 is bigger. So the bigger one is 5, 1/4, and we will put the greater than on it. And then after it is what? 2.5, because it's the positive. Now we're going to see the negatives. We said the smaller the number in the negative, the bigger it is when we compare them. So -1/2 or -4.25, the bigger one is -1/2, because 1/2 is smaller than 4.25, and we're saying it on negative. And then the last one would be -4.75. Now there's a term called opposite. Which are 1 and -1, 2 and -2, 1.5 and -1.5. So the opposites is the positive of the number and the negative of the number. These are opposites. Now we're going to compare rational numbers. Comparing again is the symbol of greater than, less than, equal. Now 1/2 and 1/3. If we compare them, which is bigger? It's 1/2. Why? Because in the denominator, the bigger the denominator, the smaller the number. Again, 1/5 and 1/6. Which is bigger? 1/5. Why? Because the less the denominator, the number in the denominator, the bigger the number. And obviously 1/4 and 1/4 is equal, because they're the same number. And also with decimals, 1.5 and 2.2. Which is bigger? 2.2. Because this 1 and this 2 is bigger. And if we said 2.4 and 2.5, which is bigger? This, because the 5 is bigger than the 4. Now in this example, we're going to give it the decimal form. And it is asking from the smallest to the largest. So the smallest is always what? The negatives. So we would first look at the negative. And we said the bigger the negative, the bigger number in the negative, the smaller it is compared to others. So which of these three is the smallest? It would be negative 5.4. So first of all, negative 5.4 is the smallest one. And we would give the back, so we would give it the less than symbol. After negative 5.4, the smaller in 0.6 and 1.7 is negative 1.7. And then after it is what? 0.6. And then we will go to the 1.7, 0.6, and 5.4. Which of the positives is the less? The smaller 0.6. And then after it is 1.7, and then after it is 5.4, and 5.4 is the biggest. Now there's another question asking about the opposite. So the opposites is the same number, however, it is in the negative form. So which of these are opposites? It would be 1.7 and negative 1.7. That's a pair. And then 0.6 and negative 0.6. 5.4 and negative 5.4. So there is three pairs, three opposites.